but let's take a deep dive. Again, if you're just joining us, we're going to review these movesets and these Pokemon. We've got Lantern, Annihilate with Night Slash, Dugong, as well as Cresselia with Moonblast, Shadow Gligar, and Lickitung.
Now, these are pretty much always, not always, but the standard movesets that are going to be used on a lot of these Pokemon. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at Trent's side as well. Dugong's on both ends here. Not a super common Pokemon, but with so many Gligar, it seems to be really a popular choice, especially obviously making it to the grand finals. Got that Lantern, Altaria, Shadow Gligar, Lickitung, and Annihilate. I mean, this team is pretty similar. Like Trent said, he probably would have ran the exact same team as SJ. He just didn't have a good enough Cresselia, so he decided instead to use the other Pokemon.
We talk a lot about bench pressure, right? And that, like you pointed out, that Dugong is great bench pressure for Gligar, for other flying type Pokemon. So seeing a double Dugong grand finals is going to be really, really exciting here.
Yeah, we saw this a little bit earlier on. Sometimes opponents have really, really similar teams. And if they have those similar teams, they have to decide how they want to play out those matches. Unfortunately for Trent here, the fact that there is a Dugong and his other pick is an Altaria makes it a little difficult to use his actual 6th Pokemon in that place instead of like the Cresselia.
Exactly. You could almost argue there's a slight team composition advantage due to those minor differences. We're about to kick off our grand finals here in Indianapolis. We've got SJamesp21 on the left and TrentSzcz on the right.
And we have to get started here with the Cresselia into the Annihilate. Neither one of them have energy yet. That's it looks like Trent doesn't even want to go for it. Goes for his safe swap there of that Lickitung. And now that's you see, but this time the Moonblast is already prepared before the Body Slam gets there. We'll see how SJ responds in kind.
Trent has been known to kind of make this switch a little bit early. He doesn't typically stay into those lead matchups, but the attack drop on the first Moonblast is definitely a stroke of luck here for SJamesp21.
You can see it didn't even look like it looked like he just actually apologized to Trent. Said, I'm sorry, but this is going to happen. Now this Body Slam is not going to be doing this much. These licks to a normal type Pokemon are not going to be doing that much either. Back-to-back Body Slams coming through here, but still going to be relatively healthy on SJames's Lickitung.
If there's a single word I can use to describe SJ's team here, game number 1, it's safe, right? You have your Cresselia lead, you have your Dugong and Lickitung. There's so much bulk, so much HP, and so much neutral play. He's just going to try to outskill Trent here.
At this point, too, it's like he's at basically 100 energy, still letting Trent throw another Body Slam before even one of his has been stored. Now going to go and throw, and I think this is when the Body Slam spam is starting. Number 1 coming through right here, unprotected onto Trent's Lickitung.
Exactly, right? Can it and slam it. We're going to see the swap into the Annihilate, trying to get some counter damage done, but the Power Whip coming through here from the Lickitung. In this kind of battle, right, where both trainers are playing so neutrally, so managing their energy so carefully, it's really hard to tell who has any momentum. We're not going to see really until the dust settles, but Annihilate is looking to disrupt all that with a Shadow Ball here.
Yeah, I think there's 2 shields left on the field. SJamesp wants to use his first one right away. He's also very happy that Annihilate comes in here because if you look, that Dugong in the back would not be happy with that. Meanwhile, Dugong is really going to be loving what he's going to see with that Altaria. This Grass Knot coming through. If Trent does not shield, this will be enough to knock out the Annihilate. Looks like the Annihilate is going down.
Trent lets it go, right? Sacrificing the Annihilate. He's got a healthy Altaria, but he brings the Lickitung instead with a Protect Shield advantage. I think you're right, Amanda. I think that he's predicting anything besides Dugong in the back for SJ.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the Body Slam will not be enough. We see it just as chip damage at this point, bringing the Cresselia down to the yellow, but it's charge attack priority. This Moonblast will be enough to knock out the Lickitung, and they're about to see what is in the back. There are 2 shields remaining for Trent, but the real question is, will it matter here? The switch timer is going to be up. I think he's going to go for that Moonblast first. He wants to get one of those Protect Shields stripped away right now, and it looks like he is able to do so.
I'm sorry for laughing, but you saw SJ kind of look up once he saw the Altaria. He knows what he's going to do next. Moonblast does not trigger the attack drop, but it doesn't even need to. Double super effective, same type attack bonus. Ice Shards are just going to eat away at the Altaria's HP here as this matchup draws on.
Altaria doing everything it can to stop the momentum that Dugong is about to get, but with no debuff on that either, and the Icy Wind already available, this Altaria is going to fall from the sky. Trent not even bothering to use a shield on it at this point. It's going to get so low here, and then we have a pretty healthy Dugong, no Annihilate in the back. SJamesp staying on that winner's side, taking game 1.
I just want to give you a compliment, Amanda. You mentioned the Altaria being a huge difference maker on this team. For 2 players that have basically the same compositions outside of 1 pick, the Altaria is a huge difference maker for the exact reason you pointed out before the game started. The Dugong found the Altaria, and what I'm also a little bit surprised by is that Trent didn't learn from what he did to Out of Pocket just a series ago.
Very true, very true. It's so hard because I think that Altaria has really been like almost an MVP Pokemon for Trent a lot lot in this series. So of course he's thinking, I need to bring it as well to these grand finals. It's been doing so well for me in this. Unfortunately for Trent, this just was not his game. He got that attack debuff on his own Licky Tongue. He was trying to maneuver around the clock, but of course not predicting what was in the back. Just when that Dugong came in, I think he just knew at that point it was over.
The question for Trent now is to either double down or pivot out, right? Either you double down on the Altaria, you recognize its utility and you bring it when your opponent doesn't predict it, or you pivot and you try something else. Try to attack SJ from a different standpoint, because honestly, these trainers kind of danced around each other in the early goings of the matchup, but as soon as that one matchup came to light, Dugong and Altaria, we knew that that was lights out.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part about the Dugong, if you look at Trent's team, is like it does so well against two Pokemon. It's like two Pokemon really counter it, being that Annihilate and the Lantern, and then the other ones are sort of neutral. It's a great pick for him overall. I can see why he brought it in that matchup. It looks like both the trainers just trying to figure out what they want to do for game number 2. Typically, we have best of 3 matchups here. This is a best of 5. This is a grand finals. If Trent can get 3 of these 5, we're going into a bracket reset. There's so much on the line. We are really almost in the end stages here.
Yeah, and like you said, if Trent wants to bring his Lantern and Annihilate, he's going to be met by Cresselia and Lickitung. SJ is really putting on the pressure, but this is a pretty neutral lead going into game number 2.
Yep, Lickitung just starting to lick away again, slobbering up this Cresselia, getting it nice and slippery. It doesn't want to even deal with it anymore. Normally trying to catch on that body slam, but not being able to. Actually, Trent stores all the energy and comes into the Altaria saying, hey, you know what? In case there's a Dugong at that point, I don't want my Altaria anywhere near it. This seems like the safest place to bring it in.
This is what Out of Pocket tried in game 3 of their series, right? Versus Trent. He's just hard switched in the Altaria. He said, if you have Dugong, I'm going to see it. If you don't, I know what's in the back, right? Going to fire up the Sky Attack against the opposing Lickitung, trying to weaken it, but just like in game number 1, so much neutral play to open up this series.
Yeah, Lickitung going ahead, taking that like a champ, just still continuing to lick away, getting all of that extra energy, throwing yet another body slam. This won't be quite enough to get it knocked out, but I think it will outpace at this point too if Trent doesn't want to throw the Sky Attack. And maybe SJamesp will keep that switch alignment that he was looking for. The Sky Attack is reach, but not for the body slam. Does he want to use a shield?
That's what you have to account for, right? The Lickitung is just going to pace a little bit more quickly because Body Slam is less energy cost than the Sky Attack is. It picks up the knockout against the Altaria. Trent kind of resets the board, brings in his Annihilate looking for a fat counter down, and he gets it. 4 punches get him the knockout, but now there's a Gligar in the back.
And the Gligar and 2 shields, but this was pretty good, getting a little bit of extra energy here. Trent has been baiting a lot, and I wonder, I mean, SJ has not said he's been watching his matchup, so maybe he doesn't realize it. He doesn't, not calling that bait right away, and this gives him a little bit more energy. Coming in with a combination play, this Lickitung is going to throw a body slam.
I don't mind this, right? I think that Trent did something really smart. He took the Protect Shield advantage, sent in a neutral pick like Lickitung, and he recognizes that Lickitung actually can straddle the Shadow Gligar and Cresselia matchups and make a big impact on both.
And SJ says, if you can bait, I can bait too. As an Aerial Ace goes, I wonder if he will pivot out or if he wants to get a little bit of energy first. So straight for another Aerial Ace, right as another body slam is going. Gonna completely let this go, putting it on the Cresselia versus the Annihilate in the back. I have to see these two trainers play it out again. I mean, this is high level play. A lick going through here and another Aerial Ace.
Another Aerial Ace is going to chip down the Lickitung. Again, there's no easy solution here. There's no Focus Blast Registeel. There's no close combat Berserker. You just have to work your way through this matchup slowly and patiently. Gonna go for the Grass Knot. A bait here from SJ. Does Trent take it?
It looks like he is going to take it. He knows that Lickitung can handle a lot. I think he's saving everything for the Annihilate with some energy in the back. Body slam now coming through. This Cresselia is nice and healthy. The big problem, we've seen it so much with Cresselia, is its fast attacks. The Psycho Cuts just don't do a lot. It's really going to be those heavier hitting charge attacks that are doing some energy. Getting almost 2 Grass Knots before doing the next. You said that would have been enough before, Will. I think it's going to be enough now.
I think it will. I think the challenge, though, for Trent is to know how much energy is still stored on the Cresselia, because the Annihilate is not at full strength. If the Annihilate comes in here and takes a Grass Knot plus the Psycho Cuts, it will get knocked out, so it definitely needs to pace the double Night Slash and do it as quickly as it can. Grass Knot gets shielded up here.
Grass Knot gets shielded, the last shield in the game for Trent. He is countering away. He's trying to get a little bit more, going for that Night Slash, maybe hoping for a boost. There is a shield up. SJ, I think he knows this is just a Night Slash. He's wondering if he should shield it or not. He's letting that go, knowing that the counter damage is not a lot. He's gonna need to throw another one. Grass Knot is reached.
Wow, right there with just 1 HP, Cresselia able to get to the Grass Knot against the Annihilate. SJ holds on, KOs the Annihilate, and takes game number 2.
Oh, okay. So if you're Trent at this point, you got to be a little bit nervous, but it doesn't look like he looks calm and composed. He's saying, okay. He's taken game 1, he's taken game 2. They were different strategies, both games. What do I need to do to turn this around for me? SJ is really sitting in the driver's seat. Again, coming in from the winner side of the bracket. He just needs to win one more game to be the Indianapolis regional champion.
A lot of people are probably wondering, you know, why does he keep bringing Altaria? Why does he keep bringing that Pokemon, especially when it's hard countered by Dugong? Look at this trio that SJ brought to game 1 and game 2. He brought the Lickitung and the Cresselia. Annihilate can't handle both. Dugong can't handle both. Lantern can't handle both. There's nothing on Trent's team that can handle both, so he needs to bring his most powerful neutral picks. He's kind of forced into it.
Exactly. There is a lot of bulk on SJ's team there, just across the board. And as you can see, reaching that Grass Knot, it was a charge attack priority, but this is Trent's wherewithal as well. He knew that there is still a shield left on SJ's side. Didn't even bother. He said, okay, yeah, I know that this game has maybe been lost.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think the win condition for Trent was to get a Night Slash boost, because the counters do a little bit more damage. The Gligar was out of energy. If you can just land one counter into the Gligar, maybe if you ties with the wing attack, you actually tie the game, but at least it's not a loss.
Exactly. I think that SJ knew that as well. You saw him debating because he knew it wasn't out of Shadow Ball range. He was like, okay, he's got to get to another one of these no matter what. If it does get a boost, I'm going to need to protect the next one.
Exactly right. We're going to jump right into game number 3. This could prove to be decisive. SJ on the left side of your screen, Trent on the right in your Indianapolis Grand Finals.
We've seen this quite a few times before, but they've always seemed to play it out just a little bit differently. The Cresselia against the Lickitung. We know that Trent likes to throw that body slam right away as he gets it, but this time goes one over, and he's going to throw it before that Moonblast is reached once again.
I mean, this is very much what we've seen from the first 2 games, right? A neutral lead, neutral play, nobody making a hard call, but this time actually SJ switches out first, offering up the Lickitung, and it's met by Altaria.
This seems like a very, very similar game to the game that we just saw as well. This Lickitung did switch in, Altaria comes in because, again, Trent does not want it to be locked into a Dugong in case that is in the background here. A body slam coming through. We did see this happen. I wonder if they want to play it out exactly the same, because if you're Trent, you're thinking, uh-oh, okay, I got to do something a little bit differently if I want the end game to be different in this game number 3.
Amanda, you're so right, because I'm looking at this matchup, I'm thinking, why not bring Annihilate into the Lickitung? Because you're predicting the Dugong in the back, and that is going to be detrimental down the stretch, because the Lickitung is going to continue to apply pressure with body slams. This one won't quite knock out, but it's closing in on the second one.
Yeah, and I think if the last game was any indication, he's going to get to it just at the same time, yes, but this is going to be a little different. SJ now choosing not to shield. This one is going to knock out the Lickitung, and Trent is going to get a little bit of the alignment, but at what cost here? In comes the Gligar, and if you're at this point, you're Trent, you're saying, okay, well, now I know what I want to bring back in. It's going to be that Lickitung.
4 wing attack advantage. Shadow Gligar has already leveraged the remaining HP on the Altaria into a huge energy advantage. Going to fire off the first Aerial Ace and draw away the first Protect Shield of the game from Trent's Lickitung.
And this is where it becomes very interesting because, of course, with the baiting, of course, with all the switching, the switch time is misaligned. How do you keep track of your opponent's energy here? And this is going to be crucial in the later game. This body slam is going through, getting the first shield from SJ as well. He wants to keep that Gligar healthy. He hasn't seen the third Pokemon.
Word shield parity right now between these 2 players. Dig going to come through. No Protect Shield from Trent, but he needs this Lickitung to KO the Gligar and give him a shot to close this game with Annihilate.
And as I say, oh, look at that. He did try to get a catch, but he immediately swapped in. This is going to be a Moonblast. This is going to do so much damage to the Annihilate.
Trent thought it was Grass Knot, but it's a super effective Moonblast, and now Annihilate is weak. Gonna try to reach for the Shadow Ball, but the Cresselia will pace with the Grass Knot. Is closing in. Gotta go for the Night Slash, but SJ knows it, and he just Psycho Cuts instead.
He completely Psycho Cuts, and I think he's not even gonna shield. He was counting. He's like, okay, there's no way this is even a Shadow Ball yet. My good condition is just to completely go down. I'm gonna throw at the Lickitung when it comes back in.
Absolutely astounding energy, control, and patience from SJ. Moonblast comes through, no Protect Shield, and we're about to crown our Indianapolis Regional Champion.
Put your hands up!
SJamesp21!
Congratulations, an incredible, masterful performance by SJ. Coming in from the winner side of the bracket, not losing any of these games. Incredible, a 3-0 sweep from the winner's side.